ignoring our ignorance, we can't even begin to talk about ignorance unless we start to talk about truth. And that is the topic this week. And when we start to really hold on to truth, that is really when we start to dig our heels into ignorance. Because to hold on to a truth with our hands clenched tight, white-knuckled fists, we are digging into the fact that no one else has an equally valid perspective or belief system. So when we start to claim our truth is better than another one, we are starting to feed into that competition, that lack of abundance, the inability to harmoniously coexist. And that is the essence of what keeps us divided, is holding on to our truth and saying that it's right, that I am all victorious. And ultimately, we need to take a step back and just respect the fact that other people have different experiences that make their truth valid in their own certain particular way. So this week we have animals left and right guiding us forward to see how do we want to dig into the truth, and how can we start evaluating our own personal truths and see if it's actually bringing us the harmony we need this week, or is it bringing us the disharmony that's causing a little bit of chaos because we're perceiving things a little womp. So with that being said, I think we're going to pull to the left first. We have that unicorn, magical fairy tale spirit. So when you think about myths, we think about the fact that there's no truth, or maybe there's a little piece to truth in these fairy tales, or we just look at that as just, maybe a generalized archetype. But the unicorn is definitely telling us to dig a little bit deeper into the symbolism of what's going on around our environment. And looking at the unicorn, we're definitely seeing this activation of our third eye, our sixth chakra. So we definitely want to make sure that we are stepping into our power this week, really activating the ability to see beyond the reality that is in front of us, maybe see the symbolism or the pattern in the actions around those that we are keeping company with. So the unicorn is definitely going to be helping us guide a new way of seeing. So we're definitely going to have to change up some perspectives maybe and find a new truth that can bring us a greater harmony while we progress into the week. If you've chosen to the path to the right, we have the butterfly, bringing in that air spirit. The butterfly is all about that transformation, embracing a new way of being. One thing about the butterfly is that no one really speaks about the truth of when a butterfly hatches. They are not just liberated from their cocoon, flying around and fluttering from plant to plant. It's more of a slow process, and I have had the privilege of being able to commune with butterflies in my backyard. And when I see these butterflies hatching, it is such a magical process, but I just can connect into this spirit and just seeing their wings slowly flapping and fluttering, being able to gain that strength to really be able to fly the currents of the winds. So the truth is that as we wait for this all-telling moment that, we're gonna get there, this is our transformation, we're gonna do it, we forget to talk about the real truth. The blood, sweat, and tears it takes to make an idea a reality. So don't be fooled by the glitz and the glam, as we can see on our altar this evening. Things can be sparkly, but there's so many different sides and reflections to the truth. So if you don't like what's going on, change it up. It's not worth digging your heels in and locking ourselves in from the abundance of perspectives that can give us a new truth and maybe just a little bit more bliss. So with that, let's see what our next card is gonna do to reveal a way the unicorn in our third eye can open. The butterfly's message of transformation and rebirth, regeneration, being able to step into our new identity. What is the truth that we need to open up to this week? Ooh, we got 2 cards because one wasn't enough. All right. Well, 10 and 1 is an 11, so we're talking about manifestation. So this is a really cool magical number that we can guide us into this week. Oppression, the 10 of Wands. Now, this is going to be a energy of opposition when we are trying to make something happen and make everything work out super smooth, and then the powers at play that are beyond our control, we just meet resistance on all corners. So we need to find a way to make this resistance that's going on in our life and not make that the ultimate truth of the reality. Maybe there is a way that we can flip the perspective so it's a little less arduous to our spirit and we can find a little lightheartedness. With this 10 of Wands, it's also representing the idea that the matter needs to come to an end. Whatever is going on, whatever is keeping you in a very negative mindset, it's time just to put it down. It's to put it to rest. The matters are settled. It's time to figure out a new way to adapt and exist in the current environment. The Ace of Swords is letting me know that if anyone's been guiding to should I or shouldn't I, this is a very positive card in saying that maybe you should, if that is the action in the positive favor of going forward. The Ace of Swords is all about the sword of truth, kind of like the Excalibur. It is the ability that with the divine heart-centered consciousness aligned with pure heart-centered thoughts, we can really achieve anything. So this is a really cool card because it also attributes to the number 22, which is also the multiplication of 11. So therefore, we're getting this real divine energy. So depending on your belief system, whether you believe in nothing or at least the existence of nature and its energy that goes beyond our human control, to the universal energies, to the any other dogmatic belief system or religious institution, spirituality, autonomy is the embodiment that says that all those belief systems can be true. My belief is just as great as your belief, and there's no reason that we need to put down or disparage another person's belief system because it is not our own personal truth. And that's really the basis of war, is fighting over whose God is the right God. So with that being said, let's wrap up this week's reading into truth, and let's see what our final card has to say. And this is it. Patience. Isn't that the greatest truth for everybody? With the unicorn activation energy of our third eye, maybe our third eye has activated, maybe we're in the process of our third eye activation at this moment. Either way, this is about our eyesight and the perception of how we need to see things. So maybe patience is the attitude that we need to bring into our everyday life right now in order to find a new truth as we take off the urgency and sit back for a minute. This is a card that is one of evolution, growth. You can definitely see that feminine energy that is coming forward. So maybe we need to just kind of sit within the growth of our being, especially as that butterfly energy is about transformation. You can't get a more perfect picture to embody the transformation and transformation of our female body, the ability to grow life. Now, if that's not the greatest metamorphosis, I'm not sure what is. This is something that is super magical, and motherhood is not a truth that everyone needs to experience in this lifetime. Not everyone experiences motherhood the same way. So to say that motherhood can only be defined by one specific trait, is once again dividing or splitting the hairs of whose truth is the right truth. So we need to find patience as we navigate the perspectives of truth, as we navigate our own truth and we deal with the truth of others. We need to find compassion and take a little time out in order to really see new ways of being and existing, because that is the ultimate truth in this universe, is that everything is dualistic with a little spice of plurality, and there's always another way to look at something. So as you awaken autonomously, embrace your truth and welcome everyone else's, and see that there's no competition between who's right and wrong. And thank you for ignoring ignorance. Have an amazing week.